Hi everyone. Today we will be having a demo on Python language. This is one of very renowned language that's available in the market. So we would discuss on what exactly is the language all about. We will try to see how. I'll not be demoing actually, but we will try to see how exactly it is available, where we need to download it, how to install it, and we will also discuss on what are the best features available with this language, and also have a little glance on what are the actual uses of this language in the current internet-based market. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, please use the chat window, or we will have at the end of the session. With that saying, we will start with the session. So the language, the Python language, is one of the language that's available in the market, which is developed by Guido van Rossum. He is one of the programmer who wanted to start a programming project, and he designed this language. And the current version of the software, the language, is Python 3.5, which is available in python.org. This is a general public licensed software, as to say it's an open source software, which is available for everyone to install it on their machines and use it. So for all the FAQs, downloads, documents, etc., you can go to the single site python.org for all. It's a one-stop shop for all the information that you need. What are the features of this language? So this language, similar to all other high-level languages, it is an interpreted language. I assume like you guys have some idea on what when I say interpreted language, which doesn't need any compilation. It is more or like a human understandable language, and which is portable as well. And also this is a strongly typed language. That means you need to be specific and clear on what we are trying to put forward to program to execute. And also all the software that's available is lightweight, and it is portable as well. And if you want to install the software based on the OS that you are using, you will be getting it from python.org and downloading the package file and running it. And currently most of the systems of Unix and Linux, they are giving it with the software itself. So specifically for Windows, except the HP machines, you have to install it from the website. So if you are planning to write a program, we need to use text editors like the Notepad, and we can use some IDEs, integrated development environment tools like the Eclipse, and we can use the NetBeans, etc. for our code writing. And all your Python files would be saved as .py. .py file extension is identification for your Python files. So where exactly we would be using this software would be in web development. It is used in web development, and it is also used in creating micro frameworks, and it is extensively used in content management system. And also its main purpose, like when it was created, also its main purpose is for the scientific and numeric computations. And also it is used in desktop UIs. We have some apps coming on Python as well, and it also can be used for data analysis and modeling. So these are the few out of a huge set of advantages of using this language. Okay, we'll get with this program then. Okay, if you are trying to use it in Windows, say for example in Windows, you need not to specify anything. You can right away open the Python IDE and say hello world. In the prompt, like you in the presentation, if you can see, you have the greater than symbols. In the prompt, if you type the hello world, the return would be the similar one. So this is just an example. When you start writing the variables, and when you start writing the lists, the tuples and the dictionaries, etc., you will try to understand it better. So okay, this is an overview. This we have covered. So, and also when you start working on your Python interpreter, as stated earlier, it is an interpreted language which will take all your inputs and return the output. So, for example, if you right away give 3 plus 7 on your IDE, it will return as a 10 for your output, and for it will also validate your expressions. So if I say 3 less than 15, then it will give you a return type of true, the boolean function. And if you want to print something like print me, then it will say give the same thing. And here in the last example, if you see print me, a print is the keyword that is used by Python to give a standard output. So it will not print that word, but it will give you a print me statement. And also we don't have any semicolons in Python, so we are good to go to write all your statements. Actually, this is a space, like we will be using white spaces here. So for anything for you to use, you will use the white space as a separation. And when you are trying to write all the variables, so all your variables must start with a letter or a number and an underscore. So it is the basic syntax like for all other languages. And we have different types of variables, like variable definitions like the numbers, strings, lists, tuples, dictionaries, or maps. And for anything like if you want to use a line comment, you will use a pound sign, and that would be your comment for your Python language. And one good thing with your interpreted language is similar to your Perl language. You need not to declare your variables like say int a or the character b, etc. It is interpreted by your software, so you will simply be using it to assign and use it. And most of the variables and the strings are immutable objects. So once you create them, you cannot change it again. So make sure we are using the right words and variables when you are trying to code the program. And everything is an object here, like it runs on the aspect of object oriented programming or structured programming, wherein everything is considered to be an object. Even function and classes are considered to be some of the objects for your Python language. And your integers, when you are trying to use an integer in Python, the integer value, say for example in your other programming languages, it is say of 4 bytes, but for the integer in Python, it is like for a long integer in your C language. That means it has 32 byte size. So we should make sure whatever you are declaring would be sufficient enough for your computation. And the long integer that you use is an unbounded value, so it doesn't have any limit actually. And like this is a basic definition on what are the numbers that we can use. We have but again, as stated earlier, we are not going to declare them, but when you're trying to use it, say if I say a is equal to 1.232324567, that means it is considered to be a floating value. And say here we have an example wherein if I say x is equal to 3 plus 2j and y is equal to minus 1j, that means it will still compute and take the values. And the next statement, if I say x plus y, that means it will say 3 plus 2j minus 1j. That means it will give output as 3 plus 1j. So it can interpret the information that you give to the system. So all your arithmetic operations for your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus operators, and we have something called exponentiation. That is, we will use it to represent the exponents with 2 star signs. So those all can be handled using Python language, and it is supported. say when I said immutable, that here we have an example for it. So when I say x is equal to 4.5 and y is equal to x, that means both x and y will point to the same value. And only the like when I am doing the references, say y is equal to x, that means y is referring to an object x which has some value. X would always be having 4.5 and y can vary because it's a referential value. And again, even strings are immutable. Once you create your string, it is immutable, that cannot be changed once it is created. So, and also we don't have any type like char, the string, etc. Similar to we have it for other object-oriented programming languages. And if you want to concatenate, you can use the addition symbol, the symbol for you to concatenate any multiple strings. Here, for example, x is equal to hello, and we have something called x is equal to express there. Here the x has a value of hello, and if I am trying to print, if I say print x or simply x, it will print hello there. So this is simple example. Once we start working on the Python code, actual Python code, we can see all the information again. And string literals can have singular double quotes. So it makes no difference if you are trying to use a single quote or double quote. So here we have an example saying that with single quotes I am a string. So you can simply say the output would say I am a string, and similarly if you have double quotes, then it will give the same thing. And we have if you want to use multi-line statements, then you will use this example like 3 double quotes. So when you say 3 double quotes, you can give all the information in multiple lines and print it. And in that, again, as the information is interpreted, you can also use your escape characters. Like when it is escape characters, like for the carriage written, and you have it for tab, you have it for beep, etc. You can use those escape characters here. And also when we speak about strings, then you can also have the string length, string object, etc. Say for example, I declare it as s is equal to in a string. So as the strings are indexed, that means your first character of your string would be indexed 0 and incremental thereafter. So here we have an example where s is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if I want to print s of 3, so that means your value at s of 3 would be 0, starting with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, the value at s of 3 would be 3. And similarly, if I want to print a substring, then if I say s of 1 is to 4, that means it will take the value from index 1 to index 4. So your output would be values residing at index 1, 2, 3 and 4. And similarly, if I state saying that s of 2 colon, then it would give the string after the index value. Similarly, if I mention the end of the string, it will give me values till the end of string there. And if I use a negative value s of 2, then it will count from the last -1 and -2. Then there you will not have a 0. The index from when you read from the highest value would be -1 and -2. Then your output would be 4. And if you want to try to get the length of your string, then you can use length of your string value, length of s. Say for example here you will give the value as 6. And you can use the string formatting also. So it is more or like this C language printf statements. Though we will also see this when you are trying to execute. You can use the percentile s for everything. It will convert any object to your string. So here in this example, if I use 1 percentile d3, and I just mention it as percentile 2, that is 1, 2 and 3. So it will replace the percentile d with the value of 2. And similarly, the percentile d to a percentile s, that means it will replace with 1, 2 and 3. So we will get to this more in detail. And before we head with the list, we can also, like as we have done the string concatenation, we can also append, insert, remove the information. We can sort the strings, we can reverse the string, and we can also find the length of the string, maximum value, minimum value, etc. So for you to work on any of the Python program, you can resemble it with the C language. So first thing is you will be importing some of your packages and libraries. Like for example, basic packages would be import random, import system, import OS, etc. And for you to run and get the output, you will simply say print uh, say training. That means it will give you a training output there. And uh, also, if you want to use the comments, you will use the pound sign, and if you want to use multiple line comments, you will use 3 single quotes. So when you start with the 3 single quotes, then the system will understand that it is a multi-line comment. So we got into lists. So lists are the ordered collection of data. So it is similar to your array, but here it can handle different types of data. You need not to mention, say, everything must be an integer, or if everything must be a character. You can have integer values, string values, and expressions also in the data collection. And lists are mutable. When I say mutable, we can edit it at any point of time in your program. And also you can use all the string operations on your list. For example, here we have an example, x of I is equal to a. That means it will replace the value of your x of ith indexion value with a. And also you can append the information in your list. To append the information, we will use dot append. So for example, I have here x is equal to 1, 2, 3 as one of my list, and I say y is equal to x as well. That means y will also have the similar set of data with it. So and if I say x of 1 is equal to 15, that means the value at 2 is replaced by 15 here. And as we have the statement like, since x and y point to the same list object, both will get changed. That means your y will also have the similar information now. So when I try to print y, it will again print 1, 15, 3. And say if I want to append some information, I will say x dot append and give the value there. That means it will append the value to the end of the list value. So, and if I want to print it, it will say 1, 15, 3 and 12. And y will also have the same reference values. And if I want to insert a value in certain indexed location, then my input would be x dot insert and with the index location and the value there. So it will give me the value. And here we have some example like expressions, how you would be using the expression, validating it, etc. So you can have some other x dot. Let me increase this one. And we can also do, so we have x is equal to 1, 2, 3, for example. And if I want to append something, then I will say x dot append and give my value 4. Sorry, this is how you would be appending the information. Then your output would be x is equal to 1, 2 and 3, 4. Like this is how it gets appended. So for example, if you want to insert something in specific location, then you will say x dot insert and you will give the index value. Say I want to put a value after 2, that I will say 2 comma and that value, say 5, then your outcome would be x is equal to 1 2 1 2 5 3 and 4. And say for example, if you want to remove something, I can simply say x dot remove and I will give the value. I remove and I will say 5 again. So your output would be x dot x is equal to the same string again, the old string 1 2 3 and 4, and you have sort. So if you want to sort it, x dot sort, you will say x dot sort of sort, then it will defaultly sort the values. And again, if you want to reverse the string, so you will say x dot reverse. And if you want to print the length of your list, then you will say print the length of alien length of your x. Okay, so these are the few aspects of your lists. And then we have something interesting, tuples. Again, tuples are your immutable version of your list. So where your lists are mutable, here this is an immutable version. So you cannot change it after it is created. It is more or like your static data definition. So for example, if I say pi tuple, then I will pi tuple and I will mention some value. I'll show you the example. That would be easy. Okay, so pi tuple is equal to 3.14, I have some other values in this. All these values are now static for me. I cannot change it. So even if I refer it to some new tuple, then it would still be the same. But one thing we can do is, say if I want to edit the information, I will say I will convert it to list of my pi tuple. So this will be changed. And similarly, if I want to change the list to tuple, then I say for example, if I have some new list of values is equal to say I have apple, mango, banana. So this is a simple example. So if I want to make it into a tuple, then I will say new list is equal to tuple of my new list. So it is similar like you are doing the typecasting. So all your information will be converted into tuples, which are immutable objects. So similarly, if you want to print the information, you can use similar way of doing it of your strings. You say, for example, if you want to print from your index location of 1, you will say x of 1 colon, that will give you the output there. And similarly, if you want to do some mathematical expression also, you can do it the similar way. And we have dictionaries, like it is also called as maps for some reason. They are made up of unique keys for each value. So for each value that you define, it should have a unique key defined. and it cannot be joined like list, like you cannot do the concatenations here. You can only do delete, edit, and length operations, and we can also do the get operation, etc. We can also identify the list of dictionaries. Say, I can quote you an example. Okay, we'll do this. Say if I have something called candies, I define it as bar type of candy. I'll say silk, Cadbury silk, and we can have something called pop, and like if you can see, the bar is your unique identifier for your value of silk. And now we have another thing called pop for your lollipop, for example. And delimiting with comma, I will say I have something called stick for your some sweet. I will sweet only. So this is your dictionary or a map. So if you want to print something, if I want to say print candies of location which is in pop, so its output would be the value which is residing in POP. So that would be your lollipop. Just I'm quoting an example here. So your output would be this. So when you're trying to print it, and if you want to delete something out of it, if I say delete from candies and say located in stick, so the output would be when you're trying to print your candies, you will not find the value for the sweet there. And for example, if you want to change the value or something, so what you do is you take the value directly and say bar is equal to, you will mention the value, say for example chocolate. So the value of bar would be replaced by chalk, and it must be unique actually, otherwise you will get a warning. And also you can do the print your length of your candies map dictionary. And if you want to get some value, say if I want to get to what is the value, I have saved it for the POP, then I will say print candies dot get value for the POP. Say if I don't know where exactly I saved it, but I have the unique key information. Say POP, then your output would be again this one. And what all we have dot key dot values, so they will give you the dot key the unique key value and the location information, so that we can see when you are trying to example. We will get back to your presentation now. So this all we have covered. So your list tuples dictionary can store any type, so it does not have any type issue. So it can save your integers values, it can save a string value, also it can save your expressions also. And out of these three, lists and dictionaries are only mutable objects, and the tuples are immutable. And your all variables are references only. Like this is a very important factor when you are trying to write the complex programs. And your data types would be like it is limited, it is not limited, but again it is interpreted when you are trying to execute it. So the system would determine what type of data type that you are using. So your list, you can see your list representation is with the box bracket, and your tuples is your normal braces that you use, and your dictionaries or maps would be with your flower braces. So this I mean, when you're trying to use it when in coding, you have to make sure like when you are representing the information, these must be taken care to ensure you are not uh, confusing the system with replacing dictionary with tuples, etc. And you can do the string conversion, the cast conversion, like we have seen in the example. Like say a is equal to 5, and if I want to say I use something called b is equal to 10 in your quotes, and if I want to print it a plus b, it will say 5 10. So just an example. So and here it will do the normal stdi and std out. So if you want to say print what's your name, the name would be your input. It will wait for your prompt option. And also we have seen like we are using these operators where high percentile s, your percentile d old, and if you give the inputs of name and year, then it will say you can do the execution here. So when you say name, it will take the value. When you give the year, it will say take the year, and when you're trying to print the information, it will print as we are showing in the example. And before I head with the questions, I will give you some further information on OOPS concepts also. Like here, other than the object-oriented programming that we do, we also have something called functions. We have the functions, we will define them, we will do the declaration of it, we will have the return types, etc. for the functions. And we have in the strings, we have the long strings, and we can use these limiters for information, the display of information. And also you can use the dot operators. So dot operators to print the information of that value. Say for example, if you have what's your name, and if you want to print something or concatenate with some additional information, what's your name question mark, you will say like dot question mark, it will give it. And for example, if you have a very long string and if you want to find a specific letter out there, then you will say print, and you will give your string name with the dot find operator. So that will give you where all you have that letter. And also you can replace, like when you are doing the text parsing or the text editing, and if you want to replace a letter, then what you can do is you can simply use dot replace of your word with the new word. So it will give you the complete it will replace the letter with the new word that you are using. And also you have file the normal file input output operations. Like if you want to open an external file, then you will say test file. Say for example, if I have a test file, and then how will I do is I will say open text file. And also you can say you can mention like test file mode also. So whether you want to just do a read of your file, if you want to append data, etc. And say for example, if you forget your file name, and if you want to find what exactly it is, then you will say test file dot name, then it will give the name of the file as your output. And if you want to write information to your file, then what you can do is you can say like text file dot write with the number of bytes and the information. And we have like also we can read, we can print the file, we can remove some of the text in your file. And also if you want to remove the file completely, you can say os dot remove and the file name. It will completely remove that file. And when it comes to the object oriented area, like it follows all the rules of your structured programming, object oriented programming, wherein it will follow the constructors, it will have your initializations, it will have your setters and getters, you will have your polymorphism, you have your method overloading, method overriding, and also all you say, the try catch, the functions that we will define, etc. Everything is applicable in your Python language also. So with this, I will be concluding my session for today. If you guys have any questions, please raise. Okay, I have some question. Can you show it in ID? Okay, Ashish, for your question, we would be taking a session on how exactly we will go install the Python and also run on an ID. Also, I will show it once we get into the in-depth sessions. We will also do that. Okay, Divyesh has a question which says, what is the scope and future of your Python for jobs? Of course, Python is a never-dying language, Divyesh. So at any point of time, we can still see scope because all your scientific operation and okay.